This Honorable Roane County Commission is now in session. The Honorable Commissioner Shannon Hester presiding. God bless the United States, the great state of Tennessee, and this honorable meeting. This time, Commissioner Hooks will lead us in prayer. Afterwards, before Chaplain Hooks leads us in prayer, today's 9/11, so if we could just have a moment of silence to remember the events of that day. Chaplain Hooks.
Our good Lord, as we come to you, Father, here this evening, thankful, Lord, for another day and another opportunity together, Father, as a body, a governing body, Father, Lord, to work out the business of the county, Lord, and help us, God, give us the knowledge that we need and the understanding that we can make our county a better county, our state a better state. Father, we ask, God, that you would send your blessings upon Reverend Goodman's family tonight. He's fought a good fight. He's kept the faith. Now he has won the race. Father, but the family that's left behind, Father, has an empty spot. We've asked, Lord, that you fill that void. Father, Lord, and Super Jack, Mom and Dad, we ask that you put your arms around them, help them, give them the strength that they need. And these things we'll ask in your sweet name. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge to our flag. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. Please silence your phones.
All day long. June, you need to have, you need to have.
All right, thank you, ma'am. All right, approved minutes of the August 14th, 2023 meeting. Motion by Wilson, second by Duff. Mr. Wilson.
Nothing further.
Mr. Duff.
Nothing.
Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk.
Did I not know? Okay, no, you didn't.
14. All right, acceptance of committee reports and correspondence. Motion by Wilson, second by Berry. Commissioner Wilson.
Nothing further at this time.
Commissioner Berry.
None at this time, sir. I'll reserve to just for the county executive report.
All right.
What? That's not wrong.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Let's go with her.
Did it pass?
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Feel pressure now. What's mine say law? Okay, all right.
All right, 14-0 pass. All right, we have any notice?
Troy Craig, Jessica Gallion, Paul Miles, Stacy Nelson, Darlene Pruitt, Benazia Sewell, Haley Schaefer, A.L. Tuggle, and Ashley Works Shannon.
All right, motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Duff. Commissioner Henderson.
Appreciate your willingness to serve.
Commissioner Duff.
Nothing further.
Madam Clerk. All right, 14-0 pass. Then hearing of delegations. This time, if anyone wants to address the collective legislative body, please come up to the microphone, state your name and address, and limit yourself to 3 minutes.
Good evening, I'm Justin Snow, President and CEO of Roane. Today was a good day at work. There's not many days that I get to plan an announcement, and, actually schedule a couple of closings. So those are far and few between, so. But we do have an announcement date for Project XYZ. All right. It's gonna be a quick turnaround, so 3 weeks from today, Monday, October 2nd, and that's about all I know at this time. We blocked some calendars, I don't even know the time yet, but go ahead and block your calendars if you can. Monday, October the 2nd, we're gonna have hopefully a real nice live event. Other than that, I did mention we had a few closings. We've had one about 2 months ago. I scheduled a couple more closings, for this week and next week, so that'll bring up, that'll allow us to sell 31 more acres of land. It'll be about $600,000 of proceeds that'll come back to the county, to the capital improvements account. If you look back to 2021, what the Industrial Development Board has done, and what's in the works that we're looking to close this year, we're looking at 220 acres of land sold, over 1,100 jobs that are created or retained, over $160 million in capital investment, and $3.7 million in land sale proceeds that the IDB has produced the last couple of years and what we're going to close later this year. The pilot reauthorization policy, we have to reauthorize our tax abatement policy every 3 years. The last time we did that was in December of 2020, so we're working that right now. We have a few edits. We're going to run through the Industrial Development Board at our next meeting in September, and then we'll run those changes by the liaison committee before we bring them to commission in December. Lastly, Stacy, I think, has handed out some information on all the events we have going on in the county, which there's a lot going on right now. We got Main Street Monday tonight in Rockwood. We're starting food truck rallies again in Kingston on Wednesday. There's a big Kingston Open Bassmaster fishing tournament that starts Wednesday.
How many people?
Actually Thursday.
How many people
Start
in that?
registration on Wednesday. What?
How many people's in that? How many boaters will be in that?
250.
250. What's the prize there, do you know? Generally a boat or something.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So 250 fishermen, wow.
towing per boat.
Yeah, I was down there yesterday and they were
They're here.
blasting up and
They're
down,
this
they were
morning.
fishing everywhere.
All, every spot.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So lots of great
Awesome
events.
job.
The Roane Alliance is a proud sponsor of that fishing tournament in Kingston. And on the back page of your handout, don't forget the elected officials barbecue is 2 weeks from tomorrow down at Kingston City Park. Everyone should have received an invitation. If you could, and if you haven't already, make sure you RSVP. And we'll see you guys on Tuesday, the 26th, and then for a live announcement on October the 2nd. That ends my report, and I'll answer any questions that you guys have.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Wilson.
Not me. I didn't get it.
Mayor, Chair recognizes Commissioner Berry.
Just know, out of the $3.7 million of land sales that we've had, you know offhand what the capital side of that is for the industrial board from the sales of that land, or is that money we put back into the Jones Road and infrastructure projects?
I know the 3 points, now, some of that's due to close later this year.
Okay.
But all those land sale proceeds, they go directly back
So,
to the county for the capital improvement.
so do we know what that number is?
We have about 2 in the bank now, about around 2 million.
2 million?
Yeah, and so 600,000 more soon, and then the rest coming. So, yeah, and that IND, Connie's looking up right now, but.
And so none of that's been earmarked for anything else as we stand now, right? So that we can use that money.
Justin and I have been talking about, what's next. And we're Site 4, so what's next? But instead of, what we're hopeful for is instead of having to purchase land and then develop it and market it, the market's so hot right now, Justin's trying to serve as a broker between the buyer and the seller, so we don't even have to spend them.
I guess, and speaking for the commission, I guess, if we can make sure we watch that money and sort of put a hold on that money, because we know we're running out of land, we know we've got to do something, it'd be awfully nice to have some upfront money when we go to do
Yeah,
something.
we won't do anything with that money without it coming through here.
Thank you.
I think the only time we've tapped into that money is for the street light project in the park.
And you all approve that.
Thank you.
All right,
It's
Chair,
about $2 million in there, I don't have it exact.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Goss.
Justin, for future events, anything that's happened like that, is there anything that we can do? Because actually, I've got back and looked and researched some of these bass tournaments that come in some of these other counties and cities, you know. They've hung banners from interstate bridges, you know, there's been banners, you know, welcome, you know, Bassmaster Wranglers. To me, and I may be wrong, maybe it's out there a whole lot more, I mean, other than Facebook, you know, I'm not seeing it. I know this is, you know, a big part of Kingston's pie, but,
And that's where we jumped in as far as our team to try to help promote that event as much as we can. Stepped in to sponsor the event, but I agree. From this time going forward, we're gonna promote it the best we can. But I'll agree, going forward, big events, we have to do a better job of pre-planning and marketing for those events.
I mean, you know, somebody coming off the interstate or something, you know, have some banner or something somewhere, you know, tell them, you know, let them know that Roane County appreciates them, you know, coming here. And, you know, the more advertisement we get, the more we're gonna bring in from other counties, and not just counties, but states, you know, around us. You know. I appreciate it. That's all I have to say.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Parks.
Have we ever got any clarity or the paperwork on with FCUD up there at the industrial park?
The latest we have is we're waiting on their new attorneys to get us the word back. We have been assured by their board that they're working. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
All right, thank you, Mr. Snow.
Thank you.
All right, anyone else want to address the commission? Hearing none, seeing none, we'll go ahead to the county attorney's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've got two things. First of all, on the Carol Runyon deed suit. That's the lady that bought a piece of delinquent tax property, decided she didn't want it, and recorded a deed conveying it back to the county. Her attorney contacted me about a week and a half ago and said she didn't want to contest our lawsuit, and they agreed that she wasn't entitled to transfer the property back. So I have sent him a proposed court order that sets aside the deed she made to us and puts the property back in her name. It went out probably about a week ago, but I haven't heard back from him. Second thing is we have an ethics ordinance that requires an ethics committee. And we don't have an ethics committee. We have a new law that went into effect at the state legislature that says by January 1 of 2024, we have to notify the Tennessee Ethics Committee who presides over our ethics resolution. So basically what this resolution, I called it an ordinance, it's a resolution, but what it says is we're supposed to have a 5-person committee consisting of 3 county commissioners, 1 constitutional officer, which is either the sheriff, the register of deeds, property assessor, a court clerk, trustee, or the county executive, and 1 member of a county board to serve on this committee, and they're supposed to elect a president, and that president is the person that we have to notify the state of. So I've talked to the county executive about that, and it's my understanding that he is going to appoint some committee members, which our resolution requires him to do that. And I mistakenly told him that it didn't have to be confirmed by a county commission, but it does, because if you read on, maybe I need some reading glasses, but he will have to submit that slate to you for confirmation. That is my report. Does anybody have any questions?
Chair recognizes Commissioner Hendrickson.
I just have one. We have to elect a president for the committee.
It would be the chairperson.
Right, so would that be an elected official or one of the private citizens?
Well, it would just be one of the members of the committee. which it could be an elected official, it could be a board member, so it would just have to be one member of the committee.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Berry.
Does one of those, I know in the past, I think one has been a school board member, is that right?
Well, it just has to be a member of some board of the county, which it could be a school board member, it could be a public utility board member, it could be a member of the county committee. So.
All right, any other questions for the county attorney? Hearing none, seeing none, thank you, sir. County executives report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last Wednesday, Chairman Hester and Chief Tim Phillips and I traveled to Nashville to the Tennessee Corrections Institute to request recertification of Roane County Jail. The Jail Alternatives Committee met on August 24th and authorized the development of bid specifications to begin a new master planning process for the jail. But in between those two times happening, I was in Murfreesboro last week at the annual conference for the Association of County Mayors. And I met with Jim Hart of CTAS, who's been working on this for the last 10 years, who recommended to me that we authorize him to redo the jail study. So, and I told him, fine, because that just gets us new data and it buys us more time. So I contacted him today to see what the process will be about beginning that process. Our issues in 2019 are far different now than our issues were then. They're different then than they were now. As part of the case that we made to TCI, we included a new jail study. TCI approved our request. Ultimately, that's what I wanted to report back to you for recertification. And I reached out to Mr. Hart to begin the new process. For reference, our jail population has been under the certification limit for over a month. So at the time we did the study in 2019, it was over 350. And now we're ranging between 145 to 190. The real problem we're having, the jail study committee has talked about this, is not population as much as it is classification. Our population manager, our sessions judges, and the DA are doing a fantastic job of managing the jail population, but we still have to be able to pass our inspections. So anyway, I wanted to report back to you. Number one, it's recertified for the next year. That was the good news. Next point, in the midst of planning for a major transition to renovate the facility, the Roane County Health Department received an award for Outstanding Health Department of the Year in East Tennessee. This was a recognition from the Tennessee Department of Health. There were several individuals that recognized as well, so be on the lookout for a ceremony to honor our health department coming soon. We were notified 2 weeks ago by the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development that we have been awarded a CDBG CV grant in the amount of $248,661 to address food insecurity in Roane County. There are 4 recipients of funds within this grant. They are Hands of Mercy, Roane State Community College Food Pantry, From the Heart Food Ministry at New Midway Baptist Church, and Feeding Roane at First Christian Church in Harriman. So the funds will be spent directly by them to purchase equipment for food storage. So freezers, refrigerators, that kind of thing.
How did they get on that list? Did they put in for the grant, or was the grant wrote around them, or?
The East Tennessee Development District reached out to us and said, you all need to apply for this. We didn't know about it any other way. So us and 7 other counties did. And we reached out to whoever we thought could basically house the equipment, who had facilities and was doing food pantries that had enough space or plans to have enough space to put big freezers and refrigerators in. And those were the 4 that responded. Lindsay Collins was here at the time. There were others that she reached out to, and I think those were the 4 that responded and said that they could handle the additional equipment.
Can anything else be added, or are those 4 locked in?
That's pretty locked in because it was part of that grant.
Around.
That's federal, federal dollars.
That's all.
Great news, though.
Yeah, awesome.
Piggybacking off Justin's announcement, I just want to say there are several of you all in this room that have played a role in getting us to this point. Over the last 20 years, buying land, arranging for the utilities, building a road to the site, getting infrastructure to the site, grading the site, and building a spec building and marketing the site are all things that have taken decades to accomplish. And we're finally about to realize the fruits of those efforts. So I want to say thank you to all of you for your support for economic development, and also as a reminder that our efforts today may take a while to pay off, just like they did 20 years ago, but it will make a big difference when it pays off. This is why it's so important for us to do long-range planning, so that we get more days like today where we schedule an announcement for hundreds of jobs. And then the last thing is we anticipate that the Gallagher Road Ambulance Station will be in operation by the end of the month. Now, the garage may not be in place, might be a couple of weeks later, but we'll be running an ambulance out of that station by the end of this month. That concludes my report. Glad to answer any questions.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Wilson.
So have they started anything on the Department of Health down in Harriman? Have they started on that, or are they on time?
Well, they started design. We are not happy with the design at all. So a lot happened today to make sure that what we want is what we're going to get. We're also concurrently, we're working on trying to get ready as quickly as possible to start the demo. But demo hasn't begun yet. It just, you have to have a plan for that too. It's ridiculously painstaking to get to this. But June 30th is still our target date.
Okay.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Berry.
I knew I wouldn't get whatever.
On our environmental review.
Yeah.
Number one, long-term management and storage development Mercury. That's been ongoing. Are we thankful they're monitoring that? I'm sure there's others monitoring that same thing.
Yeah, I don't know of anything new on that topic other than they're paying really close attention to the new landfill and making sure that the new DOE landfill meets all the requirements. If there's any mercury, it ends up stored there at all to keep it from becoming leachate. I know that's been something. That's all I know about mercury that's been brought up.
And also in that report was the airport. It looks like there are some negatives now that are appearing on behalf of the airport. Is that a fair assessment?
And the members of the ERB that are here can also attest to this, but my feeling was that the ERB's opinion of that environmental assessment done by the FAA was not to the standards they're used to seeing. And that led to a lot of negative feedback in that report, along with some generalized statements about the airport itself. So there wasn't time to get those to you for your review before I send them. I had to send them when they were done. But yeah, it's certainly a matter that I expected you all to.
So do we need to do an updated resolution either against or for?
Well, I mentioned
the airport.
I mentioned to Chairman just before the meeting today, there's a list of 4 different things that kind of piled up that I think would be best handled in a workshop environment for the commission. And we can certainly add that to the list because there's so much, I mean, you read that, there's a lot to go through there to consider. So I think for everybody to have a firm understanding on what's at hand here, I would suggest we do a workshop.
Agree.
Also, so on the paper, they got a call today on broadband. The state has been awarded their money. They've allocated, I think, 7 counties. And that's separate from the grants, I think, that we're working on. That those may have been the small counties, rural counties. But are we in line now to do what we have to do?
Number one, on that list for the commission workshop is their presentation, the Broadband Accelerate team's presentation to you. Our concern is that the FCC maps that came out first said that Roane County was 95% covered, which we knew was ridiculous. The state came out with another map after that said we were 89% covered. Still ridiculous. The survey data that we sent out, that team sent out, said we're closer to 50% covered, which I think is probably on the low side. I'm guessing it's somewhere in the middle. The problem is this, though. We know that the map data is inaccurate, and you're only eligible to receive funds for what shows up as not covered. So what that team is spending most of their time doing now, they're way past their 16 weeks, and they keep meeting.
Right.
So they're spending the majority of their time challenging the maps and trying to find out where it's not, so that we can challenge those maps as much as possible, so that when we do get funding, that everywhere it gets covered. My fear is we'll get funding to cover everything, and there's still gonna be hundreds of people come to us after and said, I'm still not covered, because those maps said they were covered, and there wasn't money to take internet down their road. That's what we got to protect against, and that committee's working very hard to do that. Derek Sims, who works in our Veteran Services office, is leading that team now. Kenny got us 16 weeks in and handed it off to Derek. Derek's doing a phenomenal job of leading it. But that, we're gonna need your all's help in that, in challenging those maps and getting us to a place where we don't end up in a situation where we've received millions of dollars to cover the entire county in broadband, and we still have people who don't have it. That can't happen.
So do we need to go to the feds to look at the map and see, so we've got sort of a
I would-
read on what the state's
I
got?
will ask that team when they do their presentation to you to be specific. I know that's a big part of the presentation already, but I'll convey it back to you.
Can they use our GIS database and present us, and we can lock it out just to the legislative body and the officers here?
That's a question for the workshop, because I can't answer it right now.
So then that's another workshop that we need to jump on.
Yep. But they've been working on their presentation for about a month to you guys. So we're close, but that's what we got about 6 months to get ready for this, I believe.
I just think we gotta really ride that pony
Hard as we can.
hard as we can, and.
And I think we have.
Okay, cause I think we got the right people ready to pounce, once they tell us.
I think we've done it as a county, everything that I know to do as fast as we can do it. But we don't need to let up until it's done.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right. Chair recognizes Commissioner Hooks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. How is LCUV in their utility district running fiber? How's that going to affect our numbers as far as this grant? And,
So I'm not aware that they're gonna submit a grant application to cover any of Roane County. I could be wrong, they might.
they're running fiber now. Get inside of them.
If it's within their service area, then they can. They can for sure, and I wish they would.
So is that going to decrease, increase our numbers by them giving us the availability?
If it takes people on our map as uncovered and shows them as covered, then yeah, it will. But that'll be a good thing. That's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not a
It's
bad
true.
thing, but
What's bad is when it says they're covered and they're not. That's the problem.
I think too that whoever we're working with, they need to understand that, that we have other players in the outline, like LCUV.
They're coming out of the woodwork to apply for this now. There are companies coming to us that we've never heard of.
And you're still gonna have those spots in our county that's not gonna be covered.
Yep.
So, we need to remember that to try to entice people, that's got their feet on the ground to say, hey, are these other utilities? I thought at one time Rockwood may be looking at it, and I thought Charter was looking at coming in. So if our numbers, if they say that we're gonna have the coverage because of LCUB and you're still not qualified, that's gonna hurt us in that sense.
If they're actually providing it, it won't. If they're saying that they are and they're not, then it will. It's just a mismatch of what reality is. That's really what we're trying to make sure we get the right information. If we do, we'll be okay in whoever gets the grant award, assuming that we get it.
All right, thank you. Chair recognizes Commissioner Bird.
Yeah, I think in that situation, what we've got to be careful of is them coming and cherry picking easy stuff, low-prod fruit, and then leaving us with the 3-mile deal. That's what we got to be careful. Well, that's what we got to be careful of, and that we could get them on infringement there.
So I'm anticipating multiple companies, some we may not even know that they do it, applying to bring broadband to people in Roane County. We have $1.5 million set aside to put with applications to strengthen those applications. Basically, what it would be is you all endorsing applications. You'll get to choose who you want to provide the service and who not.
Yeah, that way we can demand that you don't only come down Highway 70, you got to take these roads going off out into the.
But the map has to be accurate to show that.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, point of order, if you would, we are streaming, use your mics and use the, touchpad as well, so thank you for that, so that everyone out there can hear us. All right, any other questions for the county attorney? Hearing none, seeing none, let's move on to special orders. We have two, surety bonds for, Cody Christopher in the amount of, $2,500 for provision of youth services. Motion by Wilson, second by Hooks. Commissioner Wilson.
That's something we gotta do.
Commissioner Hooks.
Nothing further.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll. 14-0. Confirmation appointment for Fred Pope to serve as trustee for a second 3-year term. Commissioner Berry and Commissioner Brackett. Commissioner Berry.
Fred Pogue is an outstanding person. He's an outstanding educator. I think he'd be a tremendous asset to continue another term. Thank you.
Commissioner Brackett.
No.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll. Motion passes 14-0. No zoning resolutions tonight. Old business none. Going into new business, we do have 19 resolutions to cover, so we'll go through them as fast as we can. Resolution 09-2301, a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign a quitclaim deed for the abandonment of the interest of the approximate 969 feet of the right-of-way on Castle Cove Loop Road in Rockwood. Motion by Berry, second by Hooks. Commissioner Berry.
Nothing.
Commissioner Hooks. Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, majority passed. Resolution 09-2302, a resolution electing a chairman for the Roane County Commission. Commissioner Wilson.
I'd like to start off the nominations by bringing Shannon Hester before the commission.
All right.
Second.
Don't need a second nominations.
Commissioner Henderson.
Yeah, I recommend Shannon Hester as well. Recommend to cease nominations.
Nomination cease? Or you need a second?
I need a second.
Second. All right, second.
And then you would need 2/3 to vote in favor of ceasing nominations.
All right. I can do a voice vote on that?
Yes.
All those in favor of ceasing nomination?
Aye.
All those opposed, like sign? Hearing none, seeing none, motion carries. All right, this time, we'll vote on, 09-2302.
The voice vote was.
We did.
That was ceasing.
That was ceasing nominations, now we got to vote on the actual person. And we'll have to call roll on that, I believe.
Bell?
Aye.
Barry?
Yes.
Brackett?
Yes.
Duff?
Yes.
Ferguson?
Yes.
Gann?
Yes.
Goss?
Yes.
Hendrickson?
Yes.
Hester?
Yes.
Hooks?
Yes.
Kirby?
Yes.
Lehman?
Yes.
Parks?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
14 yes.
Thank you all. Really a privilege to be entrusted with that duty. All right, resolution 09-23, electing a chairman pro tem for the Roane County Commissioners. Motion by Bell, second by Brackett. Commissioner Bell.
I nominate Travis Parker.
All right, Commissioner Brackett.
That'd be my nomination as well.
All right, did I hear any other nominations?
With nominations ceased.
All right, all those in favor of nominations ceased. Aye. All those opposed, like sign. Hearing none, seeing none, motion carries. This time, Madam Clerk, call for Vice Pro Tem.
Bell,
Aye.
Barry,
Yes.
Brackett,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Gann,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Hendrickson,
Yes.
Hester,
Yes.
Hooks,
Yes.
Kirby,
Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
14 yes.
All right, thank you. Resolution 09-2304, setting the regular meeting date for the Roane County Legislative Body. Commissioner Duff, Mr. Wilson, Commissioner Duff.
Yes, I would like to make an amendment to that as well with the October and March dates being moved to the third Monday. Those are the weeks that, with the school calendar that have fall break and spring break.
Okay, let me get a second first. I've got the second, Mr. Wilson.
Nothing to add on that.
All right, and Commissioner Duff, this is to correspond with our spring break, fall break.
Yes.
And what date are we proposing to move it to?
That would be October 16th and March 18th.
And we did this last year for, I think it was spring break. We didn't do it for fall break or something, but we have did this in the past.
I think we did, it was Columbus Day also is the
Okay.
second Monday, so we used it as a holiday.
So at this time, we'll have to take them on the motion as amended. Any other discussion on the motion as amended, amending those two meeting dates?
So are we amending, have we voted to amend it yet?
Well, we're not as of yet, we're discussing it.
No, so we're gonna vote though just on the amendment.
Yes, that is correct. Any discussion on that?
So the vote's just to move them 2 days to the third Monday.
For 1 week, it'll be from the second Monday to the third Monday.
Are we including, is Columbus Day the same situation?
That is the October, so that takes
That would
care of
take
it.
care of it,
Same
okay.
day.
The 18th avoids that. Columbus Day, I believe, was the
The time stays the same.
9th.
Yes.
All right, so now we're gonna take the vote on the amended 09-2304 as amended.
Well, have you voted to amend it yet?
No, we have not.
So you need to vote to amend it first.
That, yeah,
You just said as amended, that's why.
I just said as amended, so.
Yeah.
All right, Madam Clerk, on amendment.
Bell,
Aye.
Barry,
Yes.
Brackett,
Yes.
Duff,
Yes.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Gann,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Hendrickson,
Yes.
Hester,
Yes.
Hooks,
Yes.
Kirby,
Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Parks,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
14 yes on the amendment.
All right, now, Commissioner Berry.
Yes, sir. I've had several people ask me about not being able to get here at 6. Asked me this week, we can move it to 6:30, just because of having to vote.
Hold on, we still need to vote on this at
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought.
09-2304 as amended, did we not? We voted to
Well,
amend it.
are you offering another amendment? Yeah, he can offer another
I was
amendment.
offering another amendment.
Okay,
It'd be the same way.
all right. Go ahead, because I know some was wanting to amend it to 5 o'clock, but.
Well, that's fine too. They were just saying that it was hard for the public to get here at 6, so I would just ask to amend it to 6:30, with everything else being the same. Thank you.
He would need a second.
I need a second for, all
I'll second.
right, I have a second on, so we're amending 09-2304 again to change the time.
I'm requesting to speak.
Okay, let me, from 6 o'clock to 18:30, or 6:30. All right, Commissioner Henderson.
So I don't know who can't get here, because it looks like we're all here. We stay here late enough as it is. And, you know, if we can get them in earlier, that would be great, but I really don't want to move it back. But we're here late enough as it is anyway, so that's just my thought. Thanks.
Commissioner Hooks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And respectfully, I disagree with Commissioner Henderson. We're elected to be here. The public, the general public that work, I'm retired, it don't matter, I can come at 5. But the general public, that wants to attend the meeting, if you're coming out of Knoxville and you don't get off till 5, or you're coming out of the plant up there and you don't get off till 5, then it's hard for them, if they want to make the meeting, to make the meeting. That's why we open our meetings to the public. So if we do it for our convenience only, then if we're not careful, we'll shut out a lot of the people that are interested in attending our meetings.
All right, Commissioner Ferguson?
Well, I agree with Commissioner Hooks over there. I don't think it's us, I think it's the public. I've had a few people tell me that they can't get here at 6 o'clock too, so I agree, it's hard to get down that interstate sometimes, and 6:30 is 30 more minutes.
All right, Commissioner Henderson, you want to speak again to it?
Yeah, I mean, I ain't had nobody complain. I don't know who's complaining in y'all's districts, but I mean, I ain't got nothing. I mean, I'll come whenever y'all said it, but, you know, it's just, I feel like we're here late enough as it is. I mean, I don't have to.
I agree.
I don't have to work.
I agree with that part.
I don't have to work no more, but, you know, other people do, and I've been here at midnight, so. It's whatever y'all want to do, I don't care.
All right, thank you, sir. All right, at this time, any other discussion? All right, so this is 9/23/04, amended with, October and March. Now we're looking to amend the time from 1800 to 1830. I'm sorry, 6 p.m. to 6:30.
Yeah, that first time.
Well, all right. Madam Clerk.
Bell,
All right.
Barry,
Yes.
Brackett,
No.
Duff,
No.
Ferguson,
Yes.
Gann,
Yes.
Goss,
Yes.
Henderson,
No.
Hester,
No.
Hooks,
Yes.
Kirby,
No.
Lehman,
No.
Parks,
No.
Wilson.
No.
Okay, that's 6 yes. 8 no.
Motion failed as amended. Did I hear a motion to retain the same at 1800? Or just call it back as amended by the dates of October and March?
We already have
Yeah,
motion
6 is in the
second on the
resolution, so
original.
we're okay.
Huh?
6 is in the resolution.
Okay,
Six
so,
is in the resolution, so.
all right, then, the motion passed to stay the same then. And I knew some was even wanting to do it earlier than that, Commissioner Berry, so. All right, moving on to resolution 09/23.
You gotta vote.
You've got to vote on the resolution as amended.
I'm sorry. 9/23/04 as amended. Call the roll on that.
As amended, meaning
1800.
1800, okay.
And with the 2 date changes.
Yeah.
October and March changes. All right, motion carries 13-1. Then 9/23/05, a resolution adopting the rules and procedures for the Roane County Board of Commissioners. Motion by Parks, second by Gann. Commissioner Parks.
No, I need that.
Commissioner Gann.
Nothing further.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk, call the roll. Motion passed. Resolution electing a committee on committees. As chairman, I will name those at this time. Ben Gann, Ben Wilson, Travis Parks, Chris Lehman, Mike Hooks. Motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Gann. Commissioner Henderson.
Nothing further.
Commissioner Gann.
Nothing further.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, motion carries. 9/23/07, a resolution.
resolution to, place in surplus a certain codes enforcement vehicle as described below. Commissioner Berry, Commissioner Henderson. Commissioner Berry.
Yes, this came out of, from the purchasing department, and we only had two requests, this one and another one that you'll have to surplus, the next resolution. So we only had two, and we, I just felt like there was no need to spend $500 for two things, so, we were just bringing this, it did not go to the full, property committee, we're endorsing this.
All right. Commissioner Henderson.
None further.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. Motion carries 13-1. All right. There we go. All right, resolution to place surplus, certain ambulance as described, 92308. Commissioner Berry.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, this is basically the same thing. We had a surplus ambulance that was at the animal shelter that they had received it. They no longer needed it. The, chief of police of Rockwood, said that he would like to make a command center out of this ambulance so that, there would be a mobile unit, and would desire this to be surplus to the city of Rockwood. So I therefore, ask for support.
Commissioner Henderson.
I support, what he's recommended. I think it'd be a good deal.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. Motion carries 14-0. 092309, a resolution making appropriations to nonprofit charitable organizations of Roane County for the fiscal year beginning July 1, 2023 and ending June 30th, 2024. Commissioner Henderson.
Yeah, we worked hard on it, so let's do it.
Commissioner Gann.
Yeah, thankfully, was able to help quite a few organizations, so.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. Motion carries 14-0. Resolution 092310, resolution appropriating $40,000 in general fund for the Tennessee Law Enforcement Hiring, Training, and Recruitment Program. Motion by Hooks, second by Commissioner Henderson. Commissioner Hooks.
I apologize, but I believe this is through a grant, isn't it?
Yeah, we talked about it in the budget committee last week.
I wasn't at that.
I'm sorry. Yeah, this is a, money in, money out, not our money.
Yes.
Commissioner Henderson.
Free money was used.
Chair recognizes Commissioner Berry.
It is free money. And we've, in the past, I think we just have to be careful. We've gotten money in the past for different things. I think one year we got some where we had two police officers for 3 years. Then we had to absorb those. And this is for bonuses, I think, here. So I think here we just have to hope that I guess that the sheriff and them are using bonuses in the right way, because we have once again, we're pitted against other departments. We have no control over any money coming in. This money's a grant, so it's going to the sheriff's department again. And at the end of 5 years, then it would cease. So there would be no more bonuses. So, again, we have to be careful that we're not setting the precedent that we don't start having to put some local monies in for bonuses and things. I mean, you can't turn 400,000 down or 200,000 down, but it's just, I think we just have to be careful. Sometimes these things come back to bite us. Thank you.
All right, Commissioner Wilson.
I just wanted to add on that. On this one, though, this is under the governor mandate, or not mandate, this was part of his plan, that it was for hiring incentives just because of the situation that was going on, but you don't have to keep doing it, that's for sure. So, it is free money.
All right, any other discussion on it? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk.
You want me to vote for
Yeah, normally just go ahead.
Yeah.
Do you want me to just abstain?
Yes,
it? Checking the chairmanship.
all right, thank you. Motion carries 13-1. All right, then, on to 923-11, a resolution appropriating state grant funding in the general fund for assessor deputy salary supplement. Motion by Wilson, second by Henderson. Commissioner Wilson.
If I'm not mistaken, this was the $950 that was just being appropriated into it, if my memory's serving me right. 963, okay. So it's just moving some money over for it.
All right, Commissioner Henderson.
And that for,
Any discussion?
Yep, just point of clarification here, this was something we applied for, that Molly's office applied for, I believe. And this was it, came back as basically a supplement for one of her employees.
Okay.
Commissioner Berry.
I'm just yielding to the property assessor. Wherever you like to go, man.
I'll use the mic unlike some of you all, okay?
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
you should do that before we vote.
True. This was, one of my employees, Barry Cofer, has got 2 designations, very, very big accomplishment. I'm very proud of him. So this is a grant through the state, that gets appropriated for that, so that's what this is about. So we have different classifications and designations that we can go to international association classes, and then we have also the state level classes. So he's done both, and so he's gotten 2 designations. It's kind of like with our COCTP, through CTAS, but it's at the state level, and then there's also an international assessor association level of classes that we take. Like I'm almost done, well, I am done with level 1 and almost done with level 2. So you can, there's all kinds of levels that you can get that, helps us when we're in appeals, helps us, on any classifications of anything that we go up against, and just, even, makes our in-depth knowledge of our world, of our assessor world, appraisal world even better. So I'm very proud of him.
Commissioner Goss.
Ms. Bowman, so this is not a grant that you wrote, this is a grant that the state offers.
Yes, it's a appropriation that he gets because of this designation that he has accomplished.
Talking about grants, I still think somewhere down the road, we as a county are gonna have to go back to trying to do something more about grant writing. I mean, I don't like wanting, to hand it down, to the departments and stuff, but I mean, we still got FEMA grants out there that we can apply for. I mean, we was talking about, Commissioner Berry was talking about the 2 law enforcement guys. There's a grant out there called the SAFER grant, where we can actually get firemen off that grant, and now you don't have to obtain them after the number of years, if they say 3 years or 5 years, and it'll change from grant to grant. But I just think that's probably something that we need to look at, so we can hopefully secure more grants.
All right, thank you, sir. Any other discussion on 092311? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. Motion carries 14-0. Resolution 092312, a resolution amending the child support enforcement reimbursement to reflect the salary increase that were received in FY 2024. Motion by Commissioner Henderson, Commissioner Gann, Commissioner Henderson.
Nothing further.
Commissioner Gann.
Nothing.
Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. Motion carries 14-0. Resolution 092313, resolution appropriating state grant funding in the General Fund 101 for the local health education support reimbursement. Commissioner Henderson, Commissioner Gann, Commissioner Henderson,
None further.
Commissioner Gann.
Nada.
Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk. Motion carries. 09-2314, resolution to decrease the appropriation of the general capital project fund 171. You have this as amended. Connie, what was amended on this?
That top formula on the reserve, it had a formula at the end. It actually doubled up and added 11,910. So on the resolution that we're amending, there's only $297,490. The middle column, what is amended, there were no errors in that. It is just how the formula was written and carried forward.
Okay,
So we just clarified that.
so we'll accept this as a friendly amendment. Commissioner Henderson, you had the motion.
Yes.
Commissioner Brackett, you had the second. Commissioner Henderson,
Yes, I'll accept it.
Commissioner Brackett. All right, any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk. Motion carries 14-0. Resolution 9-2315, a resolution appropriations state aid funding in the highway fund for fiscal year 2024. Commissioner Henderson, Commissioner Berry, Commissioner Henderson.
Further.
Commissioner Berry.
Yeah, we got additional state aid money this year, and I've been speaking to the road superintendent. I think every district is getting some of this money to go to their state aids. He's also he has local money that he can use on the non-state aid roads, but the state aid roads, everyone will get money, and he's gonna end up with about $5 million total with this 2.6 or 3.2 in the state aid and the monies that he had carried over. So, it should be a good year for Roane County roads. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Any other discussion? Commissioner Hooks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And if I may add, the state aid fund for which you qualify, I think Mr. Ferguson told me that it had to touch on both sides of a state route. So not every road out there qualifies for state aid money. It has to touch on both sides. Thank you.
All right. Any other discussion on 9-2315 state aid funding for highway department? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. Motion carries 13-1. Then 9-2316, resolution appropriating state bridge grant in the highway capital fund 176 BRG for fiscal year 2024. Motion by Commissioner Henderson, second by Commissioner Gann. Commissioner Henderson.
None further.
Commissioner Gann.
Nothing further.
Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. Resolution carries 14-0. Resolution 9-2317, a resolution amending the general purpose school fund 141, reflecting changes in the revenue expenditures estimates for 23-24 fiscal year. Commissioner Wilson.
This is just cleanup on the school fund and expenditures.
Commissioner Henderson.
What he said, nothing further.
All right, any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, resolution amending the before and after school program fund 146, reflecting changes in expenditures for 23-24. Motion by, hold on, I'm not voting.
We're waiting on a vote. There we go.
I'm sorry, I lost track of looking there. Motion by Wilson, second by Henderson. Commissioner Wilson.
This is some funding that they're moving around, finally getting some of this back in. If I'm not mistaken, there was a couple of schools that had went without this program up until recently, so. You remember the schools, was it Kingston and Ridgeview and Rockwood? So they're finally getting this back in, so.
All right, thank you, sir. Commissioner Henderson.
None further?
Any discussion? Hearing none, seeing none, Madam Clerk. All right, we do have one, this motion carries 14-0. We do have a motion to waive the 12-day rule for 9/23/1.
Unnecessary.
Not necessary.
Okay, I noticed he left, so, but,
The resolution that was adopted last year continues on to this year, next year, and so on and so forth.
okay, thank you, sir, I appreciate that. All right, is there any, Commissioner Berry?
Yes, sir, I'd like to remind everyone, October's, meeting in Chattanooga, that'll be my last meeting as TCSA president, and I will have a hospitality room downstairs. Probably will see the same folks that worked it for 20 years, we'll call it mine this time, so we're glad to have you down there. Chattanooga, hope you've all made your reservations. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. This time, if there's no other business coming from the collective legislative body, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.